Boy, this calibration of the fuel system is taking an awful lot longer than I expected. So I recorded it, I edited it, and here I'm showing it to you. Hopefully you get something out of all of this nonsense and enjoy watching it. Let me know in the comments, and enjoy. Okay, another day in the hangar. This previous video from this one would have been me working on the fuel system and the linear actuator and all of that. Today, I'm still working on the fuel system. Discovering that a couple things. The capacitive fuel pickup is very linear. So the level is very linear, it's very accurate. Problem, my tank, or the tank that goes in the back of this Challenger, is not square. It tapers as you get higher, which means that the amount of fuel for the first half of the tank, the amount of rise and the amount of fuel going in is pretty linear, and then the curve changes. So when you buy the fuel setting unit, the instructions say that the manufacturer sets it for 2 points, empty, full. Okay, it's very linear. That's great if you've got a square tank or a round tank, whatever, that's straight up and down but doesn't taper. They have another setting where you've got 5 settings: empty, quarter, half, 3/4, full. And you got to cut a little wire and then recalibrate the sending unit. And that has to be done. You have to start it from empty. So I'm emptying the tank right now, again for the 4th time, and I'm going to start calibrating it. And so I'm going to put, it holds 63 liters, so empty, going to set it. And then I'm going to put 15 liters in there, or 15.5 liters, somewhere in that range. It's not going to be perfectly exact. And I'm going to set it for the 1/4, and then again 30, probably 31 or 32 liters, 31, and that'll be half, then 3/4, and then full. And what that's going to do is that sending unit is going to remember those settings and alter its output to follow that non-linear curve, and so that when the tank is full, it'll have your 5 volts or 5.07 volts, whatever else, and 0 volts at empty, but it'll compensate for the change in the profile of the tank. At least that's what I think it's going to do. I will find out, and I will let you know for all those guys who are putting in the Grand Rapids and the capacitive fuel sending unit. We'll see how that works. So, thanks again for following along with my madness and upgrades, and hope you enjoyed 2 videos back. I posted a little short one about the jet assist. Well, as of right now, it's uploading to YouTube, or actually it's probably finished uploading. It'll be released right now. So I'll find out when I get home if anybody watched it and what they say. So I can't comment on the comments because I haven't seen the comments yet, but I hope you enjoyed a little side humor. The crew here at EAA Chapter 63, they got a sense of humor, and it made me laugh. So, hope it made you laugh too. So, like and subscribe if you like what you see, and I hope you enjoyed the video again. So, pitter-patter, let's get at her. Okay, according to the instructions, to recalibrate, because I don't have a square, symmetrical fuel tank that tapers to the top, you need to put the probe into programming mode by holding the button for 10 seconds. And I did that. This is then the first setting, of course, is the empty tank. So then you hold the button for 6 seconds. Now, before I get any of that, I have powered it down, and I cut the little wire jumper so that it goes from 2 set points, empty, full, to 5 set points, which is what you use for a tank that is tapered in some fashion, which mine is. And so after the first set point, empty, you press and hold the button for 10 seconds to get into programming, then for 6 seconds until the right light flashes, or the left and middle light flashes if you have 5 set point. Right now I've got the middle and left light flashing, and that is the empty set point according to the instructions, the 2 lights. I put in 15 liters, which is a quarter tank, approximately. And place amount of fuel that you want to read the next set point, refer to table 1, press the button, continue until done. So if I press the button, I should only get one light flash.
2 very boring minutes later.
I think I just screwed it up. I'm gonna have to redo this. Yeah, I gotta redo it. You see, I pushed the buttons wrong. I actually read this incorrectly. The dark circle is the light being off, and the light circle is what's supposed to be flashing. I read it the other way. Oops. Let's do it again, and I'll come back to you when I've got it figured out. And yeah, see, I do show you my mistakes. Okay, let's try this one more time. Right now I've got 2 lights flashing, and it's a quarter tank. And to set that, I need to push the button, and then it'll go to the middle light. Let's see what happens. Okay, temporary push did nothing. Let me bring you here. Okay, you'll see those 2 lights flashing. That means that it's the set point for the 5 set point system is set for a quarter tank. So I'm going to press this until I see the middle light flashing only. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Now it's set for, that's the half tank, is waiting for the half tank set point. So now it knows that was a quarter tank. That was a quarter tank. Now I fill it up to half a tank and do that again. I think I got this figured out. We'll see. We'll cut this and I'll be right back. Success! I can calibrate the fuel sending unit properly now. I've managed to adjust the EFIS so that it reflects as close as possible to the exact amount of fuel in the tank. And yeah, I'm hoping to get the rest of this calibration work done. Not sure if I'm going to get it exact though. I did notice that my fuel flow sensor was way out of whack and was registering too high, and that is part of the engine information system. And let's just go there. So what you do is you press these 2 buttons and hold, and it puts it into programming mode. And come on, there we go. Now fuel, I've got it in liters. Temperature in Celsius. Again, I'm in Canada. Flow calculation. This was set at 200, and it was recording for every 5 liters coming out of the tank. It was showing me 10. So I dropped it down to 100. Got pretty close, and now I've been fine-tuning it until it's an 83 is what that setting is, and that is coming up and giving me a pretty darn exact number so far of how much fuel is coming out using that little red totalizer that measures fuel that's going through it. TAC setting is number 6. That's what you set it for a 2-stroke 2-cylinder engine. TAC sensing is, I've got it set for low. Max fuel I've got set for 61 liters. And auxiliary, that's the fuel pressure sensing is on the auxiliary input here. I'm having a little difficulty getting it exact, and this one I got to talk to the manufacturer about, because there's the primary setting and then the offset. I'm all over the place on it, so I left it at 100 and 0. I know that's wrong, but I'm going to find out exactly what they do and what to do to compensate. I think there's something that I might need to do with regards to putting a resistor in line with the circuit, because the voltage coming out of that pressure sensor does not reach zero when there's no pressure. There's still voltage coming out, and this is showing like 1.7 psi when there's no pressure. I think that's because it's giving me some current, some voltage, and it's reading that as pressure. So I got to figure out what do I need to do. So I'll talk to the manufacturer about that.
A few moments later.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and animals of all nature. That's it for me today in the hangar. This is probably going to be really short, just more calibrations going on, and it's the day after the last video that I recorded. Anyways, I got to call the manufacturer and get a little guidance on these settings. I've got it working mostly. I'd say 95% of it. If I weren't picky, I'd say good enough, but I want to see if I can tweak it just a little bit more accurate. It looks like it has the ability to be extremely accurate, but my problem that I'm coming into right now is that the sending unit for the fuel pressure never zeroes out, okay, when there's no pressure. Actually, let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, let's turn the display in the back here on, see if I can get this. All right.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
There we go. Okay, so the fuel pressure is being picked up with the EIS. And I'm showing 1.7 psi, 1.8 psi. I know that's because this is getting some voltage coming from that sending unit. It's not 0 volts at 0 psi. There is some voltage there, and this is reading it as pressure. So I need to find out how I can zero this out when it is 0, but show the proper pressure when there is pressure. Like there's got to be some fine tuning adjustment that you can be made that says, here's my bottom and top of the scale. So yeah, that's what I need to do next. And when I find out what the story is with that, I will let all of you know, so that if you are setting up your EFIS and your EIS, engine information system, this might help make it a little easier. So thanks for following along again. And this is probably going to be a very short update, just me still playing with fuel. I think I've filled that fuel tank and drained it 7 times now, and draining it and filling it in 5-liter increments to calibrate. I'm close. I'm really close. I just want to do a little more tweaking on it, a little more fine-tuning, and then the engine gets mounted, and I do an engine startup. So yeah, do I mount the wings for that after the engine's mounted? I might wait, just in case you got to take the engine off. It's easier to take the engine on and off without the wings on. But we'll see. You will find out first. So thanks for following along. God bless, and keep your stick on the ice, even though hockey season's over. I'm still going to say that. See you again in the hangar. Bye-bye.
Let me know in the comments if you want to see how this all ends up with the calibration saga. So, thanks for watching. We'll see you again in the hangar. Bye-bye.